Welcome back to part 2. If you just came from part 1, thanks for watching and thank you for coming back. So without further ado, my 5th tip for tarot dabblers is consistency and routine. I wish I had a more solid routine with it when I first started. I learned the value of it eventually by doing those new moon and full moon readings. It helps you build a relationship to the cards, especially if you have multiple decks. I find it is easiest to start with one deck. And yeah, you're not gonna learn all there is to know overnight. It helps to do little by little to really get to know each card and what they mean to you. Some people decide to draw one card every morning or evening or whatever time of day works best for you. And that's key, is what works for you, because this is your life, your journey. And yeah, just sitting with its energy. You can use the guidebooks, but at the same time, it's very helpful to just let whatever comes to you come to you. Just do a little meditation. It doesn't need to be fancy. And you can take notes, like I mentioned before, like making your own little grimoire, your own little log of readings. Like you can maybe have your learning log and then, or like put tabs in the notebook of like, this is what I've learned about it, and these are my logs for my readings, just your reflections, and so on. So a lot of people will go through it one by one in sequential order because it tells a story, which I will be getting into in the next tip. Because I think going slowly helps to really commit it to memory. And especially if you do it before bed and you get a good night's sleep and you dream about the cards. And make it yours, like I've mentioned many times, and make it simple enough that you'll do it every day. Like make it so manageable and not expecting yourself to do a full reading every day. And I really suggest doing something called habit stacking, which is also could be called like anchoring to another habit that you already have. So if you do something every day already, anchor it to that habit. So if you have coffee every morning, put your tarot deck next to the coffee maker. You get the gist. Or if you journal every evening, put your deck next to your journal. And if you're a visual person, put sticky notes up or give yourself a reminder on your phone. My 6th tip for tarot newbies is to see tarot like a story. Determining how the cards speak to each other and intermingle is so fun to me because it brings out a new meaning every time. And they all have a different relationship to each other each time you read. Treating it like storytelling helps you connect different aspects of the reading and therefore different aspects of the situation that you're confronting or dynamics, whatever you're reading about. This is why people start with the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck, which is the most famous, I would say, tarot deck that people traditionally think of when tarot is mentioned, because it has very rich and vivid imagery and symbolism, color symbolism, numerology, all that stuff that I mentioned in the first video. And also understanding that the deck is split into 2 categories. There's the major arcana and the minor arcana. So the major is the Fool through the world, which is considered the Fool's journey, which there's a lot of different stories out there, or people who have written books, which I'll mention more about my favorite resources in one of these tips. It's easier to commit to memory when you know it as a story. Then the minor arcana is the ones with the suit, like the suits, the cups, pentacles, wands, swords, and all the court cards. And so those all have their own unique story too. I actually have a deck that, which a lot of decks do this, but they have, each card is connected artistically. Like it has a continuation of the card before it and after it. So it all tells like one cohesive story, which is very fun. And noting where the cards are in relation to each other, whether they're facing each other, whether they're looking away from each other, or symbiotic, or in conflict. For example, in this spread that I did for a friend, this is the Celtic cross spread, and at the center is the devil card, and then below it is the Four of Cups, and the person in the Four of Cups is staring up at the devil. And then the Nine of Wands is walking away from it, but looking back kind of wistfully at it. And in this situation, the devil really symbolized like codependency, toxic relationships, toxic habits, and that kind of thing. So that is one example of how the cards can relate to each other. And also to note here, it is totally optional when you're starting out to read reversals. A lot of people want to get used to the traditional meaning first, and then when they do that, get a feel for their own interpretations of reversals. If you want to dive into them right away, it's all up to you. Again, this is take it or leave it. Take or leave what I'm saying. Just know that there's no pressure and you can always take your time. Another note on reversals, if you do decide to use them, is that it doesn't always mean the complete opposite of what the upright is. Sometimes it can mean that an energy is needed, or that you are going to be experiencing this soon, or it's on its way out, or just indicates a weaker energy that's already there. The most important thing is just to listen to whatever comes through via free association. Tip number 7 for tarot newbies, for tarot babies, is to keep going even when you experience doubt and skepticism. That is the most important time to keep going, because then you'll prove yourself right or wrong. If you're anything like I was, there will be a decent amount of doubt and kind of distrust in yourself. Like mid-shuffle, I'd be like, there's no way that anything is gonna come out that's meaningful or relevant. Every time. Like sometimes there would be a pull that I would be stumped on and I'd be like, what? And then later on it made some more sense. Time and consistency has made it so the doubt has all but vanished. And whenever I read, I usually just have that confidence of like, well, yeah, whatever comes out is going to be useful for me. And then sometimes it's extremely relevant and on point. A lot of times I know what card is going to come out. Like in a reading I just did for a friend, out of 10 cards, I guessed 2 of them. It's just, yeah, once you have build that relationship and the knowing, it's all of a sudden, yeah. But yeah, sometimes they just need a little bit of time to marinate. It doesn't always make sense right away, and that's okay. And also just trust that you have an inherent sense of magic that doesn't need to be defined by anything at any given time. You don't need to call yourself a witch or a tarot reader or anything. You can just be reading and just to read. If you already have joined a group, great. Just, yeah, of course, make sure you're not appropriating anything and being mindful of closed practices. And if you need to start with tarot as a secular practice only, that's fine. By all means do so. All the cards hold specific wisdom anyways, so in a sense you could treat them as journal prompts. All of the cards hold their own unique theme and stories, and anyone can benefit from them as a tool of reflection and perspective. And perhaps you'll only ever use them as a secular practice, and that's fine too. But I just have a feeling a lot of you will probably find that it leads you down a little path. And of course, I'm partial to that. But yeah, the key is just to stay open and curious about what comes through and what you feel guided to do. My 8th and final tip, besides the bonus tip that's going to be at the end, are my favorite resources. So, of course, like I said, your most valuable source of wisdom is you, but sometimes it takes a while to get there, to really trust yourself. So my favorite tools are this book called Tarot by Tina Gong. I really like the way that she lays out the whole book, and I just read it straight through, and it was very helpful in learning all the different meanings. I even still to this day will pull it out during tarot readings for people because it just is that I just trust it that much. It's amazing. Here is what one of the pages looks like. So here is the card. So she actually made a bunch of her own decks as well. And I'll mention her app in a moment here. But this is one of her tarot decks. And this is the Wheel of Fortune card. Here's the keywords for upright and reversed. And then there is a section for both upright and reversed. This is the little interpretation section. And then this is the reflection section. So questions that you could use as journal prompts, things like that. And then here are some actions to take. And my Virgo ass, I love that. I love the way that it is all set up. It's just gorgeous and just tickles my brain in just the right way. And then, of course, there's the Big Book of Tarot by Joan Bunning. That one is lengthy, but I did find it as an audiobook. And it came with a nice little PDF that just had all of the cards on, like one card per page. And so I just went to the library, printed all of them out, and I used them as like I haven't filled all of them out yet, but I use it as kind of like a free association. I just like take notes as I'm listening to the book. And yeah, I like it so far. Last but not least, absolutely not least, because I love this, I recommend it to everybody. It's called Labyrinthos, also by Tina Gong. She and her husband created this app. It's free. There are some paid features, but the amount of stuff that you get for free is amazing and comprehensive. Like, there's even sections where you can learn about tarot stuff and you can do readings directly in the app. And there's a bunch of different functions that you can do. You can journal in there. Like, it's amazing. And you see all the different card meanings, different spreads that the author created. And you can even create your own spreads. I cannot recommend it enough. I will scream about it. I know I said last, but this is another one that I forgot to mention, is the one I mentioned earlier. It's called The Fool's Journey Through the Tarot by Noel Eastwood. And listening to that audiobook was just such and it's pretty brief, but it's really helpful to come back to from time to time to really remember the fool's journey and what this author's interpretation of it was. Because yeah, again, storytelling is powerful. It's a powerful memory tool. So highly recommend. Bonus tip! So I also have had quite a few people ask me how I shuffle. And it's funny that they ask because when I first started out, that was a big question I had. I was like, do I have to do the like really rapid fire shuffling that people do? And how do they do it so well? How do the cards fly out like that? How does it all work? So as it turns out, there's literally no right way to do it. It's all up to you. Mostly I end up just kind of like, I start my readings out by just completely splitting the deck. And then I just kind of let them fall into each other. There's no rhyme or reason to it. And it literally is not a thorough shuffle at all. You can do a regular shuffle of the cards. Some tarot readers will shame you for this. I don't care. Do whatever you feel like doing, okay? There's no rules. Do not let anyone tell you that there are. Okay, and then you can also do this one where you pick up a chunk, and then you hold it kind of sideways like this. And sometimes the cards are huge and massive and this is impossible. So it really just also depends on what deck you're using. So then when this is like kind of the traditional way that you see people on social media doing shuffling. So they'll grab with their thumb, and this helps also if you have a deck that is really slippery, really slidey, and you just kind of, and if a couple cards come with it, so be it. There's no rules. I have a bit of a hard time with this one because I death grip them a little bit so they don't fly out. I need to work on not doing that, or not holding them so damn tight. But yeah, so you just kind of let them come out, and then sometimes they'll fling out. Sometimes they won't fling out for a long time, and I'm like, okay, well, it's time to just cut the deck. And then I just go, boop. Oh, it's the Three of Swords, you know? And then that's pretty much how I do it. Some people do like, that's actually not how I do it. How I do it is more of a, and then see, they just fling out. And other people just do like a split of the deck. They will split it and make several piles and then draw whatever the top cards are. Sometimes they'll, at the end of their shuffle, they will just pick whatever the bottom card is as like an extra card. And yeah, so there's no right or wrong way to do it. There's also, yeah, the way that I usually do it is just like, I just pick up a random amount and just, I even put it behind, like there's just no, I have no, like you just got to do whatever you feel like doing, you know? And sometimes I grab from the middle and there's, again, no rhyme or reason. There's absolutely no sense to it. It just happens. And then sometimes, yeah, I'll just go boop, beep, you know? And then sometimes people spread it all out across the table and then just do like a little hover situation. That's the first person that read for me did that, like spread it out. And I was the one that picked. There's no rules. If there's one thing you take away from this, no rules. Yeah, so that is what I have for you. This is by no means a comprehensive list of everything you're going to need to know as a tarot reader, but these are things I wish I would have known before I started and during my baby tarot days. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed part 2. And if you haven't seen part 1, of course, go check that out too. Thank you for supporting me. Go watch my TikTok live streams if you feel so inclined. I go live on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7:30 to 9:30 CST and at PM, not in the morning. I don't do that in the mornings. And yeah, sending lots of love and enjoyment on this tarot journey of yours. And yeah, stick around for any future videos. Subscribe, like, comment, whatever you'd like to do. Okay, thank you so much. This is Jenerally Speaking. It's me, Jenna. Okay, bye.